I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Todd. Welcome to OSU's Indoor Climbing Center.
Before you start climbing, there are several things we need to go over first. So just sit back and relax, and we'll try and get through this as quickly as possible.
Because climbing comes with inherent risks, we ask that everyone fill out a liability of assumption and risk agreement. Please make sure that you read and fully understand it before signing it, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask the staff.
There are several rules that need to be followed while in our gyms. We ask that you don't bring food or drink onto the activity surfaces, that you wear closed-toed shoes, you have some sort of barrier between your foot and the activity surface, meaning no bare feet. We also ask that you don't carry loose chalk and that you always wear a shirt. Please report injuries immediately to a staff member.
If you choose to boulder in our facility, we ask that you practice good spotting techniques. We want you to use spoons with your hands and not forks, and that you have a nice athletic stance so that way you can guide your climber to the ground. Don't catch them. And we also ask that you do not climb above our do not bouldering limit. As we move through the technical portion of this video, know that it's just an overview to help you conceptualize these skills. After the video, the instructor will go through them in greater detail with you. To begin, we're going to teach you how to put on your harness. There are 3 important things to look for to make sure that you put it on correctly. First, we need to make sure that the waist belt is high above your hips and that you can't wiggle out of it. Second, we need to check and make sure that everything was doubled back properly. And finally, we need to check that all the webbing has no twists or bends in it.
Next, we'll learn how to tie the figure 8 knot. This is a very important part because it connects the climber to the system. When we're tying our figure 8 knot, it's important to double check 3 different components of the knot. First, you want to make sure that the length between the belay loop and the knot is less than 1 handful. Second, you want to make sure that you have 5 pairs of rope. And finally, you want to make sure the tail at the end of your knot is more than a handful, but less than 2. Now that the climber's tied in, the belayer needs to be set up on the other end of the rope so that they may take up slack and catch the climber if they fall. The belay system is composed of 2 parts, an aperture belay device and a locking carabiner. To set it up, first take a bite of rope and you're going to feed it through the aperture belay device. The next step is to take the locking carabiner, loop it through both the rope and the device and through the loop on your harness. You want to make sure that your carabiner is locked.
Before we get on the wall, we want to make sure that everything was set up correctly. First, we want to check that our harness was doubled back and that it's on nice and secure. Then we want to check our belayer and make sure that they have a locked carabiner and both the rope and the cable are fed through correctly. And finally, we want to make sure that our knot was tied in right. So we want to look that between the belay loop and the start of the knot, we have less than 1 fist. We have our 5 parallel strands of 2, and that above the knot we have more than 1 fist, but less than 2.
It's never a bad idea to clip into the floor assist. You want to make sure that you clip into your belay loop and lock the carabiner. What this will do is if your climber takes a fall, it'll ensure that you don't hit the wall. When climbing, it is necessary to establish a line of communication between belayer and climber.
So it's my responsibility to ask my belayer in the form of a question, on belay?
And if all our double checks are good to go, I will respond, belay is on.
Climbing.
Climb on. As a belayer, it's my responsibility to take up slack for the climber. We'll use a method called P-bus. P-bus stands for pull, break, under, and slide. By using this method, we ensure that my brake hand never leaves the rope.
Take. Falling. Ready to lower.
Lowering. When lowering, you want to make sure that both hands are in the brake position and that you're simply shuffling the rope.
Off belay?
Belay is off. Your instructor will be with you shortly, so have fun and be safe.